100% true. Actually, I heard Odell talking about PBDCs. Do you guys hear about that? I like that term too. Instead of central bank digital currencies, it's going to be private bank digital currencies. That's absolutely coming for sure. And we actually had, I think it was the state of Wyoming. State of Wyoming. Look at this. Oh, that's dipshit Carney again. Let's get him off my screen forever. Wyoming to launch a state-issued stablecoin. Look at that. Wyoming plans to launch its own state-issued cryptocurrency in the form of a stablecoin as soon as July, the state's governor announced Wednesday. The proposed stablecoin would be the first fiat-backed and fully reserved stablecoin issued by a U.S. entity. So it sounds like their stablecoin is going to be fully backed by the U.S. Treasury cash and repurchase agreements. It will also maintain a statutory requirement of no less than 102% capitalization. Pretty good. But this was the part that I liked here. This is a quote from the governor in Wyoming. He said, "I don't think there's any banks that have been really eager, right, to jump in." Jamie Dimon was floating the idea a little while ago, and I remember talking to him and saying, if you're going to do something, you should really do it in Wyoming because we have a framework to do it. The governor also added that the Wyoming stablecoin can also be a tool for farmers and ranchers to quote unquote develop new markets. That's kind of cool. What do you think that means? The governor added that the stablecoin can also be a tool for farmers and ranchers to develop new markets. Interesting. So, absolutely coming. And I think that the part that most people are missing right now when they see this and say, I don't want a stable coin that's backed by the dollar because the dollar is worthless. Yes, agreed. But just wait until the US Treasury starts adding Bitcoin to their balance sheet and backing the dollar with Bitcoin. Then there's going to be layers on top of Bitcoin, and stable coins issued by states, issued by towns, issued by municipalities are absolutely going to be a thing. If you think back, I think it was like 120 years ago, like all these different private banks actually had their own currency that you could use locally. And I think that that's going to happen. And when people worry about Bitcoin not being a store or not being transactional, it's not scalable. That's true. Bitcoin on layer one is not scalable. But when you use layer one as the base and the foundation for what you build on top of that, you can do whatever you want to. And people say we're not going to have enough sats for the world. Probably true. People aren't going to be using layer one in a decade from now. The average person will probably never use Bitcoin layer one. They'll never have their own UTXO, but they will have stable coins and other currencies, digital currencies built on top of that foundation. And that was kind of my point. I forget when I was talking about it, but I said like 1971, when the US went off the gold standard, most people probably didn't even realize that happened. What's going on here? Why am I so blurry? Hello? There we go. But most people probably didn't even realize what happened in 1971 when the US took the gold or the dollar off the gold standard. Think about now. Like, think about with all the information we have, TV, cell phone, our laptops, we have so much information every day. And I really think that, how many people are aware of this kind of stuff happening right now? With all this information, access to information is unlimited. How many people do you think know that Wyoming is issuing a stablecoin? How many people do you think know of Bo Hines? I made a post on Nostr yesterday saying that Bo Hines is not priced in. And if you've watched any of that guy speak lately, he's a big part of the Trump government and admin, and he's a big Bitcoiner. And, as I was thinking about that, as I typed that, I thought, Bo Hines isn't even priced in for me because the last show I did, I was calling him Bo Pines. So somebody who spends literally all day in Bitcoin didn't know what this guy's name was. So like the average person has no idea what's happening here behind the scenes. And I think just like in 1971, where yes, it happened, but I'm thinking most people either A, didn't see it, or B, had no idea what the implications of that would be 10 years out and 50 years out, especially. And that's what we're living through right now. So I think that we're going to go through the same shift, but instead of going from a gold standard to a fiat standard, we're moving from a fiat standard into a Bitcoin standard. And most people will have no idea that that's happening. They'll have no idea that this is the cause for it, but everybody will slowly notice their life get better and better because of that. Because we have a currency that's backed by something that cannot be created, cannot be printed, requires real world energy to create. So that's kind of where I think that things are going to. And this is kind of like one of the first steps, part of that. I think Wyoming is the first, but they definitely will not be the last.